What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. This is the AJC, your channel locked into everything Juve. June 14th, I've got all the latest news. Chiesa and Soule, are we heading for a good buy for both of these players? We always thought it would be one or the other, but here we are. Nico Schira reports with Matías Soulé that there are confirmed meetings between the player and West Ham and Leicester out of England. Should one of the clubs come in with an offer close to where Juve wants to be around that 40 million mark, they will say goodbye and then turn their sights to some of their forward targets, Mason Greenwood being the hot name right now, with apparently an agreement locked in from Juve with the player, okay? But are they still going to stick with that plan despite what's going on with Federico Chiesa? It appears so. All right, because with Federico Chiesa, number one, he had an interview yesterday that fired up a lot of Juventini, stating that at Juve he has to play on the inside of the pitch more. Spalletti gives him all this freedom to roam, etc. After Euro 2020, he was on the rise as one of the best football players in the world. Then ruptured his cruciate ligament, had a long road to recovery, but the goal is to get back on top. And at 26, he believes he could still prove his worth. But why not prove your worth at Juve? What is the breakdown? What is going on? As the report suggests that there was that meeting between Ramadani and Giuntoli. It was brief, it was cordial, but Chiesa's heading into the Euros looking for better opportunities, and Giuntoli wanted everything sorted before the tournament, and he is now listening to offers. Has Chiesa burnt his bridge with that? Are you fired up by his words there? Some fans were saying he seems arrogant. He seems not to be taking accountability or manning up to the fact that he just simply hasn't delivered, etc. Look, for me, I don't really care about the words he said whatsoever. I have no problems with that. But for me, the problem lies in representation, because for me, this reeks of Dybala 2.0 scenario, okay? I think he's got bad representation because going into this Euro, there is risk there for Chiesa, okay? Injury. If he doesn't perform, his opportunities aren't going to increase. And has he burnt the bridge with Juve now? His alternatives pre-tournament were not better than remaining at Juve, okay? But what are we fighting for? What is the difference here? I can't see it even be minimal in terms of finances, but now all of a sudden, is it multi-year? Proving your worth, you still don't have alternatives better than where you are currently at. So for me, it's poor representation. Do you agree, disagree? Hit me in the comments. But with Chiesa, we're going to have to wait and see. Maybe till after the Euros, okay? In terms of other forwards, well, third time could be the charm for Alvaro Morata. Yes, Juve, apparently, according to Nico Schira, one of the teams monitoring Alvaro Morata on a 12 million euro release clause from Atletico. All right, now, what's interesting here, and let's talk about Morata. Number one, we're trying to get rid of Moise Kean. Alvaro Morata is easily clear of Moise Kean. Moise Kean also still has interest from Atletico Madrid. We remember the move in the winter that fell through, but could be back in play. This could be a very, very easy maneuver for Juve to get a boost at the backup position, and we still have Milik around, and it's expected Milik will stay around. Now all of a sudden you've got Vlahovic, Milik, Morata. That would be solid. Morata would have to take a pay cut though, definitely, and all signs point to him be willing to do that to join Juventus. He's always loved Juve. It makes perfect sense, but I would keep this one in my back pocket. And the reason is I still have a pipe dream, everybody, and especially with the uncertainty around Federico Chiesa. But Griezmann at 15, if you got Morata on 12 clause, Griezmann on a 15, if that is in fact real, make a push there. Don't worry about salary, all right? Figure that out because you're freeing up a lot of it. But Griezmann should be the play, and you should pursue that definitely and be amongst all the clubs trying to lure that player in if that is in fact true. We will see what develops. But Morata, keep it in the back pocket because for me, it's a definite upgrade. And whatever we do, players moving out, the players coming in have to be improvements. And you can't tell me Morata's not an improvement on Moise Kean. And that one would not affect us hardly at all on the books, especially if we can move Moise Kean in it. But what do you think? Hit me in the comments. All right, now we get to Di Gregorio. The deal's expected to get finalized in the next couple weeks. It is done no matter what happens with Szczesny, but more on Szczesny in a bit. Di Gregorio, €4 million loan, obligation to purchase at 60 million euros, kicks in February 2025. He's got a contract to 2029 at 2 million a year plus bonuses. All right, and with Szczesny, the deal that was held up is apparently back on, okay, and now we wait for Al Nassr to make its offer to Juventus, but it is expected that this will be going through. All right, so we get set to say goodbye to Wojciech Szczesny. Now we have a free agent hitting the market that a lot of us have talked about, and that is Hummels. Hummels officially says goodbye to Borussia Dortmund, and he is now a free agent. Should Juve strike on Hummels? For me, again, kind of similar situation. Very much depends on the terms, but let's wait and maybe keep it in the back pocket. I don't think we have to make a big push for Hummels though, but it would be solid and feel very, very good if we do not lock Calafiori in. But for me, make the push for Calafiori. We have a lot of bodies still around in those roles. Like Jallo is a big wild card for me, but a guy that I think would thrive under Motta. We have to wait and see, okay? But Hummels, would you? Let me know in the comments. All right, now we get to Di Lorenzo. Apparently direct contact with Dilo from Thiago Motta, and Thiago Motta is trying to lure him to come in, and he apparently doesn't even have to. Di Lorenzo wants to leave Napoli and is going to stress the case for the sale. Juve in pole position. Should he get that break from Napoli? We have to see what happens, what it's going to cost, and what's going down. But Giuntoli expected to strike if Napoli becomes willing to move the player. Tommaso Barbieri, all right, Juve will kick in the buyback clause at 3.1 million euros. He has interest from Genoa and Bologna. Could he be a counterpart in the Calafiori deal? Let's see what happens, but Juve expected to kick in that buyback at 3.1 million. Dortmund, Liverpool, Newcastle all come back with new contacts on Dean Huijsen, according to Mirko Di Natale. With Atalanta, there was the initial contact and nothing since, all right? So everything in limbo with Huijsen. Juve looking for around 30 million euros. Will one of these teams come in with that offer? We wait and see, okay? And then you have Jallo, who I talked about being one of these key guys for Motta potentially. Well, he and Weah, their futures completely up in the air. We have to wait to see what's going to happen, but I say you definitely keep both of these guys. It does not make sense to rid yourself of these players, but here we are, a lot of question marks around there. Gatti expected to get locked in for next season, though. That's your news break to today. You guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army, share the content, but throw in your comments, your opinions on everything you just heard. I can't wait to hear from you all. Let's mix it up, and I'm back tomorrow with a live show with the cast at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and we are gonna pick our nations for the AJC Ride or Die Challenge, all right? Don't forget to let me know whose team, which cast member's team you want to roll with in this before we pick those nations tomorrow morning, all right? As always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, ciao tutti.